Hi, it's Christine Beadsworth. Please excuse the sound of the rain in the background. It's raining very hard here. This is a word the Lord gave me for the year 5781, which began on the 19th of September 2020. In the morning watch on that day, I woke up very early in the morning and the Lord started a conversation with a statement. He said this: 5781, the year of the horse. Which horse, Father? I asked. The black horse, the year of famine and want, the year of cleanness of teeth and sorrow. There will be riots as people seek bread. Crops will fail because of cosmic rays, and crime will increase as the desperate seek aught to feed their children. Barley is more nutritious than wheat, and those who are kind to the poor will see miracles of provision. There are storehouses in heaven once the storehouses of earth stand empty. But who will access them? Only the righteous and the compassionate. Lord, you say, do not hurt the oil and the wine, I asked. What does that have to do with famine? Everything. For those with my passion and compassion will feed many. The man on the Jericho road is a wounded world, left to die by those who ransack the nations for their own supplies. But my oil and wine are the kind who pour themselves out for others, and the spirit of Elijah will multiply their flour barrels. The Jericho road, the Jericho band, and the trampling of the outer court begins this year. Then he paused before making another statement. 5781, the year of famine and water. Why water, Lord? And then I saw tidal waves flood cities and rivers break banks and filthy debris-laden floodwaters barreling down city streets like an advancing army. And the Lord said, the earth shakes, the earth totters and rocks on its axis. The crowds flee like ants to higher ground, but the sleeping don't know, and the scoffers don't care, and the widows stand on every corner. Lord, how hard will it be to get supplies? Impossible. And I saw shops closed and boarded shut, and signs saying, no bread. I see long queues of people with begging bowls, tired, desperate, gaunt. And then I hear him speak again. Water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. 5781, the year of water and the year of wine. What do you mean, Lord? I said. The year the wine of my word will be poured out by a few, but empty wine barrels will make a lot of noise. People will run from coast to coast just to get a drop to drink. And I see people gazing desperately into empty wine goblets, and I see others adding colorants to water, trying to make it look like wine because their offering plates are empty and they want the people to come. And I see boarded up churches, and I see home meetings with everyone on their faces in prayer and deep intercession, each communing with God on their own. I see darkness, and I see light. Pinpricks of light all over as continents lie cloaked in darkness. And I hear people ask, are there any who have the wine of the word? Where are the wisdom speakers? What shall we do? What does he say? Where are those who know the God of life? Where is the way to life? What must I do to be saved? We have gone astray, and our begging bowls are empty. What is there left to live for? And I hear a voice say, woe, woe, woe. Want, want, want. Weeping, weeping, weeping. I see cupboards full of fine clothes, and I see begging lines of people in fine clothes, rich and poor together, with hands outstretched. The people look bewildered, broken, hopeless. Where is the good news, Lord? I asked, quite overwhelmed by what I was being shown. I am the good news. There is that. I am the bread of life. I am the water of life. I am the quencher of thirst. If anyone is thirsty, let him come to me and drink. Come, feast on bread without cost. Come and eat of the bread that will satisfy your souls. Come and drink of the well that will never run dry. Come to me, you who are weary and heavy laden. And I see Jesus with his arms around a whole lot of children. And I see angels with baskets of bread. And I see the 5,000 and the broken pieces of bread. And I see the baskets of leftover pieces of bread. And then he says, Men of miracles, I have my miracle men. Yes, there will be few, but they will be busy. Busy breaking the bread of life and breaking the bread of provision. Barrels of wine are set aside for this time. Barrels of wine are set aside. But who seeks wisdom's table? Who seeks wisdom's bread? Who heeds her call? In the highways and the byways, who heeds her call? The question hung in the air, the words almost vibrating with the intensity of the Lord's heart for his people to seek this table prepared for them while there is time. I sensed the Lord, when he made the reference to the difference between barley and wheat for nutrition, was referring both to the natural nutritional value of barley versus wheat, and also to the barley first fruits company being a carrier of the true meat of the word. And you can find a whole series of articles on the barley first fruits company on my Fresh Oil Releases blog. The oil and the wine that he refers to are those who carry the oil of anointing and the wine of his word in their vessels. The reference to the Jericho band is a reference to a dream I had of a group of musicians dressed all in black who began to release a dark sound with wind instruments in the earth. The dream also contained riders on black horses trampling crowds of people who were fleeing in a panic from places of entertainment and bars. I had the sense that the Lord referred both to natural flooding and to the waters being contaminated, but also to spiritual waters which did not quench people's thirst for truth, and also water being dyed to look like wine by ministers of the gospel who still wanted the money and the offerings of the people, but they had no wine of the word to offer them, and so they were offering a counterfeit. When he mentioned the word men of miracles, Joshua's companions in Zechariah 3 verse 8, it's translated as men wondered at or men that are a sign. But this phrase can also be translated, men of miracles. And now I'm just going to share the verses that the Lord gave me to go with this word for 5781. Proverbs 9, verse 1. Wisdom has built her house. She has carved out her 7 pillars. She has killed her beasts. She has mixed her wine. She has also set her table. She has sent out her young women, and she cries upon the highest places of the city. The simple, let him turn in here. To the one lacking heart, she says to him, Come, eat of my bread, and drink of the wine I have mixed. Forsake the foolish, and live, and go in the way of understanding. Proverbs 6 verse 6 is a warning to prepare and stock foodstuffs while there is still time. It says, Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, who having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provides her food in the summer and gathers her food in the harvest. How long will you sleep, O sluggard? When will you arise out of your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to lie down, so shall your poverty come upon you like an armed man. Revelation 6 verse 5 says, And when he broke open the third seal, I heard the third living creature call out, "Come and look." And I saw, behold, a black horse, and in his hand the rider had a pair of scales. And I heard what seemed to be a voice from the midst of the four living creatures, saying, "A quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, but do not harm the oil and the wine." Isaiah 55, verse 1. Wait and listen, every one who is thirsty, come to the waters, and he who has no money, come, buy and eat. Yes, buy wine and milk without money and without price. And then John 7, verse 37. Now on the final and most important day of the feast, Jesus stood and he cried in a loud voice, "If any man is thirsty, let him come to me and drink."